Hi friends, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that might be new here, hi, welcome. My name is Megan and today is my birthday. Actually, not today in real time that I'm filming this, but the day that you are seeing this is my birthday. And instead of cake, I'm serving up 5 of the top fall trends for 2025. So you know exactly what to look for when you're out sourcing for those cozy fall winter pieces in the coming weeks. Similar to last year's fall trends video, I am going to pop on the screen as I am chatting about each trend examples from high-end or luxury designer brands that fit each trend, just because it's fun to window shop expensive designer brands. And why not? Okay, so let's get right into it. I am going to break down each trend kind of in a few categories. We're going to chat about what it is, what the fabrics and prints are for the trend, things that fit, colors, and then occasionally I'll tell you why I think it's trending. And without further ado, trend number 1, dark academia revival. Now, what is that? I would say, in my opinion, this is kind of like the vibe of layered wardrobe pieces that you would wear to an Ivy League's secret society. Very academic, obviously, scholarly, very old money, very unassuming brands. Like, things don't have giant logos on them, but you can tell the fabrics and the construction of these garments are top tier. So the fabrics and prints for this dark academia trend would be leather, suede, cable knit, tweed, brushed wool, houndstooth, plaid, velvet, and silk. So like I said, very luxurious, old money style fabrics and prints. And the things that fit this trend, so things that I would be personally looking for, keeping an eye out, having in the back of my noggin while I'm sourcing for fall winter this year: pleated skirts, high neck blouses, whether that be like your traditional turtleneck sweater, which is great for this trend, or like a button-up blouse with a laced ruffle collar and a pussy bow, something like that. That's also very dark academia. Polo neck sweaters, so your typical polo button-up shirt on like a sweater. There's that kind of like collar, the little collar, polo collar style sweaters. Vintage blazers, oversized and regular fit, I would say, also fit this trend. Leather bags really fit this trend as well, especially broken in messenger or satchel style bags, kind of like on a school bag size, a bigger sized bag. Sleek leather belts, like very classic, no large logo, belt buckles, just a sleek, classic, almost like a preppy-ish belt. Knee highs are great for this trend. Stockings are great for this trend as well. Loafers, Oxfords, Mary Janes, all of those shoes really fit this trend. Colors for dark academia revival are obviously dark, but you can mix in some lighter colors. I would say the color palette is rich and scholarly with muted browns like Mocha Mousse. And if you're unaware, Mocha Mousse is actually Pantone's color of the year, so it's an extremely popular color for this fall winter season. It's like a creamy, light, chocolatey brown, almost like, I say creamy, right? Yeah, creamy, chocolatey brown. Plums, navies, oxblood is a great color for this trend. Forest green, and maybe like an antique white or an ecru. And that's how you can mix in like a lighter shade into this trend. And I think this is trending because preppy aesthetic has been popular on TikTok, and this is kind of like preppy but really leans into like the dark and moodiness that comes with fall and winter and the end of the year, and all of the cozy layering, like kind of like cozy chic layering is another way you could maybe describe this trend. Okay, now trend number 2 is one that I personally love. And back in the day, I remember in high school, I wanted a pair of boat shoes so badly, and I did get them my senior year of high school. I did get a pair of Sperry boat shoes, and I loved them. But this trend, Anglercore, or fisherman aesthetic as some people call it, I would say this trend is inspired by like traditional fishing gear and nautical workwear, kind of like coastal chic, but a bit more rugged, practical than like stylish. It's like clothing that's actually meant to be worked in, lived in, to do things in. These clothes have a practical reason for being. Cozy staples with marine time touches. The prints and the fabrics that would go with this trend would be cable knit wool, Breton stripes, I think that's how you say it, waxed cotton, canvas, rope, and nautical accents. Garments that fit, so things that you might be able to keep your peepers out when you're sourcing. Chunky fisherman sweaters, which I feel like most of us can come across these at least once or twice during the fall winter season. I think thrift stores get a fair number of these because they are an extremely popular sweater. Plaid flannel shirts is another one I think most of us could come across. Barn style toggle coats are another extremely popular item. I feel like I could have put barn style toggle coats in a category of its own because they are so popular. They were very popular last year and still are continuing to be extremely popular this year. It's August 15th today when I'm filming this, and I have already sold, I was going to say two, but I think I've only listed one. The only barn coat I've listed this year, I've already sold, and we're still in the middle of summer. So that being said, barn jackets, chore coats, toggle coats, quilted workwear jackets, anything along those lines, very, very popular. And I almost want to say brand doesn't matter, but we'll put that to the test later on because I do have on the rolling rack right here in the next haul that's coming is a bins haul. And I do have I believe the brand is Faded Glory barn jacket, but it's an older one. So we'll see how that does. Being Faded Glory, I think, is like a Walmart brand now. So we'll see how that performs being a no name or not sought after name brand. Other things that you might be on the lookout for, barrel leg chinos or barrel leg jeans, I guess would work too for this trend. I love a barrel leg, and I tend to keep any wide or barrel leg jeans when I find them for myself. Boat shoes fit this category. I love me a boat shoe. Clogs fit this category. Rubber boots, so like hunter boots might have a little resurgence this fall winter time. We shall see. And the last thing I have for things that fit is nautical accessories. So think things that have like rope details or maybe fish details. I've seen a lot of like articulating, they literally like move fish charms. I've seen tons of those on the internet lately, and they're so stinking cute. They kind of look like a little sardine. They're so stinking cute. And then bucket hats as well, I would say fit this category because they are practical and semi-rugged, I guess, but we have been wearing them as a fashion statement over the last year or so, so I think that also fits this trend. Colors that you want to be looking for, earthy neutrals, navy, olive, cream, mustard, and then sometimes I would say pops of deep red or maybe even like poppy sometimes. Yeah, definitely I think this aesthetic is one of my personal favorites. The third trend we're going to talk about is classic footwear comebacks. So what is this? I would describe this as timeless shoes that have a fresh update for 2025, for fall 2025 specifically. The fabrics and prints or patterns that fit this trend would be patent leather. Patent leather shoes are huge this fall winter. Suede is a big trend. Metallic finishes are a big trend, as well as animal prints, specifically snake print. So those are some things in the shoe department you might be on the lookout for. Things that fit. So specific pairs or styles of shoes that fit this trend. Leather loafers are very popular, whether that be a driving loafer, a horse bit loafer, or Penny loafers are also very popular. Chunky loafers, as well as like the classic silhouettes, are also extremely popular. Peep toes are making a comeback. I loved a good peep toe back in like the early 2000s, and they are making a comeback. But I've seen they're not just like the classic peep toe. They sometimes, especially on runways, I've seen like your big toe is peeping out and not like the ooh, shake my whole desk, and not like the typical like middle of your foot. So these, like I said, these are all fresh updates on classic silhouettes. So just a little bit of a different interpretation of shoes we've all seen before to make them fresh for fall of this year. Mary Janes are also extremely popular. I know we already went over that in the dark academia revival trend, but again, Mary Janes are extremely popular, as well as sneakerinas, which to me was a new term when I was doing some research for this video. But a sneakerina is essentially a sneaker and a ballet flat combined. And I will, of course, put some of those on the screen for you. Hopefully this whole time I have been putting some really nice examples of some high-end things on the screen for you to take a look at so you can have a visual with what I'm talking about. Next thing that fits this trend is retro-inspired sneakers, especially suede retro-inspired sneakers. So think like Sambas along that line, like the leather Sambas. That's a really, the suede Sambas, that's one that like first comes to my brain. A lot of people are posting Sambas I saw on TikTok. And then slipper mules are another really popular shoe for this season. Colors that fit this trend: black, obviously. Black is always a go-to for footwear, I think. Rich brown, like a dark chocolatey brown, is another trending footwear color, as well as poppy red. Cream is another one. Metallic, silver, and gold. All of those are things that I would be looking for in the footwear category. Next, trend number 4 is statement outerwear. Now, obviously, outerwear for fall, winter, that's not like mind-blowing. That's not something new. But what I mean by statement outerwear is like a bold standout jacket or coat that kind of like pulls your whole outfit together. Fabrics and prints that fit this category: obviously wool, obviously leather, faux fur, which is extremely huge this year. I could have made an entire trend all on its own. Faux fur. Shearling is extremely popular. Plaid is extremely popular, as well as quilted jackets. Things that fit. So things that you could be searching for when you're thrifting: oversized trench coats, patterned wool coats, leather blazers, funnel neck jackets. Again, funnel neck jackets, just like faux fur, extremely big this year. Colors I would say for this trend are very popular are your standard jacket colors: brown, camel, black. And then we do have some jewel tones thrown in there, so don't be afraid to pick up a rich, like luxe colored jacket and give it a try. And the last trend on our list, trend number 5, is 70s Western romance. And you're like, Megan, what is that? And to that, I would say it is a blend of romantic bohemian details with the rugged edge of Western style. So kind of like cowboy core-ish, but more bohemian and girly. The fabrics and prints that would fit this trend are suede, leather, fringe, lace, prairie floral prints, so like a ditzy floral, like a micro floral, denim, crochet, paisley, and patchwork. So quilting might work into this trend as well. The pieces that fit this trend, so things you might be able to thrift and source in the next few weeks that will work perfectly for this fall trend: suede fringe jackets. That is a big one. Fringe anything. Fringe vest, fringe skirt, fringe shoes, fringe bag, all the fringe, especially suede. So that's a huge, another thing I could have put in just a trend all of its own, but I chose to like work it into this one. Flared pants, flared jeans, prairie blouses, concho belts. Concho belts, I think, are going to be a giant accessory for this fall. Cowboy boots, Western boots, ankle booties, all the way up to like the almost knee-high booties are very popular with the Western details. Colors that fit this trend are rich. They're warm, they're earthy tones like rust, mustard, caramel, cream, indigo, and then like even faded blue denim colors like the older washed out denim colors as well. And I can think of a few brands that actually fit this trend kind of perfectly. Free People, Spell on the Gypsy, and then Double RL also fits this very like Western kind of Americana sort of vibes a little bit. Why do I think this is trending? Well, Beyonce, number one, she put cowboy core on the map this year, and cowboy core is still going strong, but this is kind of like softened a little bit. That feels both nostalgic and really fresh for this fall season. Okay, friends, and with that, we are done with our 5 fall trends for 2025. But before we go, I do want to leave you with one more little tool for your toolkit, I guess. I'm going to give you a few colors that I've been seeing everywhere all over the runways, and these colors will likely dominate the racks at retail stores. People will likely be searching for these colors in their searches and their resale searches, things like that. So these will be good colors to put in your titles or in your descriptions, things like that, more than just like red or black or brown. They're like specific colors for this fall winter season, and I will pop them on the screen too so you can see them. First, Mocha Mousse, which we already went over. That is Pantone's color of the year. It's like a chocolatey, creamy, neutral shade. Second, is it going to be like burgundy or chili pepper red, which is really like rich and luxe. And you have Slime Green, which is very similar to Brat Green, but is more of like a lemony infused green, like an electric green. Then you have Icy to Royal Blue, so various shades of blue from an icy light blue to a dark, deep royal blue. And last, a fun one, Electric Aubergine, I think that's how you say it. Essentially, it's like an electric purple, and this purple is really pretty. I would not really say purple is a color that I like or that I'm drawn to, but this shade of purple is like, it's so interesting. It's just so different. Those are the colors that I would be searching for, especially if those colors fit different categories. Like if you can find a Mocha Mousse colored fisherman sweater or a chili pepper red wool skirt or an Electric Aubergine pussy blow lace blouse, something like that. I feel like if you can mix in these colors with these trends, it's a recipe for a great sale. Before I let you go, I would love to know which trend you are most excited for fall 2025. It doesn't have to be one that I mentioned here in this video. It could just be another trend, one that I didn't mention, or a color that you're excited for fall 2025. Please leave them in the comments below. And I guess with that, I will let you go. If you took the time to watch this video and you spent your social media currency with me today, I so appreciate you. And if you wouldn't mind just hitting like on the way out, that would be awesome. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.